These are good days for gold, now trading at a record high. 680 senior business editor Mike Eppel is joining us now with the day's business news. Good morning, Mike.
Hello there, Pam. Good to see you.
Nice to see you, too. Lots going on in the business world.
Yeah, indeed. Let's start with gold because the precious metal closed above $2,000 an ounce U.S. last night for the first time ever and is climbing further this morning at $2,055 at its peak in overnight trade. Gold has been the counter bet to the stock markets of late. We've seen stocks surge, and a lot of that has to do with the amount of money that central banks are pumping into the financial system. The flip side to that, though, is the fact that central banks are printing money to do this economic stimulus. So this has led to a devaluation in some currencies, including the U.S. dollar, which is down this year against a basket of currencies by about 18%. So gold bugs see the precious metal as a hedge against deflation, currency devaluations, and other economic uncertainties. So they're buying gold in record amounts, pushes up the price, and interestingly, that Canada has a lot of big gold producers. We've seen the junior mining companies, the big names, Barrick and Agnico Eagle and others, surge this year, Pam, and has been a pretty good investment for the markets, which, again, sort of counterintuitive. We've seen other stocks go up, but gold at the same time climbing further at a record high this morning. Going to get expensive to buy some jewelry.
Yeah. But when you buy gold stocks, this is going to sound like a really dumb question, but you don't physically get the gold, and nobody actually physically gets the gold.
You can buy an ounce of gold from some of the big banks have trading desks on that. You can buy exchange-traded funds, which basically is a mutual fund that has to buy the gold itself and store it someplace in a vault. You can buy the gold stocks. There's all sorts of ways to buy it. And again, also of note, gold's priced in U.S. dollars.
Right.
So you got to convert that from Canadian to buy it as well. So you're getting some currency shifts there, and that could play into it as well longer term if the Canadian dollar goes up or down against the U.S. dollar.
I guess it makes sense.
Yep.
The movie business, Disney, going all in video streaming.
Yeah, and they've seen tremendous growth, as have all of the streaming platforms, Apple Plus, Netflix, obviously, still the leader. Disney has seen 60 million paid subscribers now for Disney Plus. They just launched this thing last year. It's been a huge trajectory.
Crazy.
People have been at home, got to keep the kids occupied, sign them up for Disney Plus. And in this case, with their earnings announcement, Disney last night reported earnings. Okay, their theme parks were closed. Many of them still are, because of the pandemic. Disneyland, for example, in California. The company lost $5 billion in the latest quarter because they had to take accounting charges for all of these park closures. But Disney Plus has been a huge boon, and they're trying to figure out, okay, how do we get the movie studio back if, you've still got movie theaters reopening slowly. But they're going to launch this live-action Mulan movie next month. But you have to pay extra for it, $29.
Yeah, not cheap. That's $29 US.
Well, how much does it cost to go to the movies?
I guess.
How much does it cost to go to the movies?
And I suppose you could get your whole family in your bubble together to watch the $30 movie.
And I think get to keep the movie and all that. It's kind of like buying DVD back in the day. But so it's an interesting tactic here. And Disney shares up by 6% early on this morning.
I guess they got to do something. They got to do something these days. And speaking of new policies and practices, Zoom meetings are, I guess, pretty popular.
They are, and there were these anecdotal stories about Zoom fatigue. People saying, "Oh, I can't stare at a computer screen anymore to talk to my colleagues." Yeah, and the numbers don't necessarily bear that out when you actually do a survey of Canadians. 72% said, "Yeah, they're fine with Zoom meetings, perfectly fine," and it goes up to 94% in Quebec. This Leger poll actually looked at it on a provincial basis as well. So, the lure of coffee and a flat of donuts to get you into the boardroom to talk to your colleagues maybe not be as enticing as some people thought it was.
They'd rather just stay in their pajamas.
Well,
with a fake backdrop that makes it look like they're working.
Absolutely. And the fact that Zoom, the platform, and any of these video conferencing platforms, they've seen exponential growth. Zoom's got something like 300 million users. It started the year less than 50 million or something like that. It's just astronomical, the change, the rapid pace of change that we have experienced here in just the past few months.
I'd never even heard of Zoom.
We have adapted to work from home.
I'd never even heard of Zoom 6 months ago.
Well, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. And all of a sudden, it just comes out of nowhere and takes on a whole new meaning and importance when it comes to the way we're now doing business.
Nice chatting with you, Mike. Speak to you again tomorrow.
All right.